See, maximum effort. As Deadpool would say, maximum effort. I put in effort that I want to put in, and none of that effort, and I said this my entire life, none of that effort has to deal with me making myself look more presentable or more, hey, I want to watch this guy, because I have no, whatever. This is my style. My comfort and my sense of, well, yes, we'll say it, my sense of comfort overrides anybody else's idea of fashion, and that's the way it's always been, even when I was a little kid. The only time I got overruled was my mom going to church. I had to wear my church clothes. But other than that, you can look through my life and say, yeah, I've never been a fashion statement. And this is a little dated and a little not 21st century, but my excuse has always been, I'm a guy, I'm colorblind, and not gay. Those are the three things that make me not a fashionista. Guy, not gay, and colorblind. Mostly colorblind, because I will get dressed for work, and Sandy goes, "You can't wear that shirt with those pants." And I'm going, "Why?" "Oh, because the colors don't match." Really? I'm not 100% colorblind. I don't see things in black and white, as I keep on mentioning. More of a life statement than a vision thing. But I do have a tough time telling some colors from some other colors. It's as simple as that. So, like, white, yellow, maybe orange, red, light blue. My best guess. Mail call number 2. Yay! So I do not know which one this is. I actually should have started that first. My computer, hello computer, deep cut. Keyboard, how quaint. Yeah, I can quote that show. It is by far, it's not even a show, it's a way of life for me. But that's, I talked about that before. Lego, Lugnet, no, not this time. #1 bookmark. Bricklink, less Brickfet. I can read today. Lego, that's Lugnet. Brickfet's the second bookmark here. The third is Bricklink. Yes, I love my life. My BL orders, I have right now 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. One's completed. I should file that right now. Yes, and I'm gonna click on file. I already gave good thumbs up for that one. The previous mail real call. Submit changes, bye-bye. I sent an email to the owner of the store mentioning that they sent me 15 doors instead of 10 doors. And he says, "Oh, sorry, that was a mistake. I had 25 in inventory and they were supposed to send me 10 and leave 15 in the inventory." I said, "Do you want them?" He said, "No, nope, keep them free, whatever." And I was going to reply to him because here's the vast coincidence, as I talked about in the last movie, the last show, is that I had 15 left doors, 15 1x3 by 1 light gray left doors, and 0 right doors. And I'm not going to use all of them. So I only ordered 10, nice round number, cut it off at 10. And they sent me 15 anyway. So it's a win-win all around. So mail call number 2. This comes from my, I don't know what my second favorite country is on the planet. My first favorite country is obviously the one I'm living in. Go Canada, go. But if I were to try to pick a second best country in the world, and again, it would have to be from a personal point of view, Holland, the Netherlands, because that's where my dad came from. And my mom's family came from there back in the 1400s. I mentioned this a few times. My mom's side of the family tree came over on the Mayflower. That's how far we go on that one. So anyway, so this came from the Netherlands. I can't tell from the stores listed. Euros, because I got 3 euro orders here. So I'm sure when I open it, because I already covered over the name, because I don't want, them to get harassed by people who watch videos and then harass people. And that's why I didn't give up the other name either for the other store. I don't think I did. If I did, I did. But I know publicity and whatever, but I don't want them to think the expectation is everybody's going to get extra parts. I mean, he said it was a mistake. He doesn't mind the mistake, but it was a mistake nonetheless on his part, or their part, because I don't know if it was him or her. And so I don't want people to have the expectation, oh, you gave Dave extra pieces for free. So I think about this stuff, and I don't know why I think about this stuff, but I do think, like, I overthink literally everything, ask anybody. So here's the baggie, nicely shipped. Woohoo! We already see what's in here. It's already in here. This is one of my lots that I did not update my default wanted list, but I would imagine that's this one, and not this one. Oh, it is this one. 2 of those. Fantastic. So I ordered 2, I got 2. I ordered 2 of those, got 2 of those. Not that I needed them, but I think I did. 2 of these trans yellow 1x1 bricks for the FX Star Patroller. Boom. And then just literally a whole bunch of these. I think there should be 10 here. 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So 10 tails, because again, you saw my 924s, a little deficient on the tails. And I have 4 more I mentioned in the last video, me joining on about the same thing. I have 2 more 924 bricks. And the only reason I haven't built the 924s is I was running out of tails. So now I have the tails. I'm going to build 2 more 924s, because why not? So, and 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 trans red. Now, of course, I have to go into my collection to figure out which sets needed the trans red, but I know there's one right over here. So we'll just kind of bring this over here, land it, get the box out of the way, open it up, pull it back, and one of these is going to need 3 of them. So I'm already going to finish this part of this lot. 1, 2, and I know I have another Space Police 1 where it's missing the gates, the bars for their little jail cell. So I have to dig that one up. So I will be doing that, as well as digging up some 924s that I already have built that are missing. I think that's it for the put that back in there. So now all we're waiting now, and this is gonna be a later order. The trans yellow has to be substituted with trans red, and I do have the 3x4 window and trans red that I'm missing from one of the jails on this guy. So so that's all complete now. This one I think is fully complete. Yes, it is. What the things? Yep. So that's my original. So by the time these Bricklink orders are done, I got 6, well now 5 to go. I will have reconstituted, hopefully, all my sets that I've already reconstituted. Oh, sorry, yes, for those of you who watched it and will remember, not that you need to, I did reconstitute the Explorian Starship. And it needed the white, funky little white brick that has a slope on it with the studs on the side for the back opening thing. I used black because that's what I had, and that's what it came with. I went through my white collection afterwards and I didn't see any, but I might have to go through it again. So that would have to be changed. But I will, you saw my quick little short, hopefully, where I brought out all my bags of all my classic space sets that I've already reconstituted. The 800 of them. Not 800, it's 300. But I will go through all of them individually and fix up what's missing, and then at some point do a show. And I don't know when that show is going to be. So I did talk about selling, and a lot of people saw that video and they said, you can't do that until you do the big show. And you know, so like it's not like a 100-0 thing. Like I'm 100% gonna sell this stuff. I was thinking about it. It'd be nice to get 8 totes out of the garage, blah blah blah. But I was vacillating, or what some people say, waffling between keeping and getting rid of, and keeping and getting rid of, because it's my whole life again. I overthink everything. But other people are interested. They want to see that. Like overall, I think with, for me, I wanted to do it without the idea that it's just ego stroking. I don't like doing stuff to say, hey, look at me, look how great I am. I don't like doing that. I build, and I don't think I'm a fantastic builder. Some people think I am. I think they're in my own niche, in my own way. That's fine. I don't think I'm a bad builder. I build what I want to build, and that's exactly what I do. And if people like it, they like it. And if they don't like it, they don't like it. It's again, I keep on coming back to my standard foundational principle that I'm walking in this direction. You guys heard all this all before. And if you like walking in this direction with me, love to have you. It's not ego stroking for me to walk in this direction. This is the way I want to walk, right? This is where I want to go. I want to play with classic space. I want to just build the way I want to build. And I also want to overall appreciate what everybody else is doing, because they're fantastic builders in my estimation. A lot better, technologically better builders than I am. Right? I am far too old school, as people can keep on seeing. So, I didn't want any of my stuff to come across as, look at me, look what I can do. No, I want to enjoy it, and I want to enjoy what they're doing, and we can enjoy things together. It's nothing to do with, like, I've met some people in communities, not too many, actually, with all things said, not too many people in the Lego community itself, the Lego building community, AFOLs, if you want to call us that, which I do, that are 100% about themselves, and not about the community. I have seen who I consider top-notch, state-of-the-art, leading NPUs, nice part usage, and building techniques that are just mind-boggling. Again, Simon. Simon, right off the top of my head. But there are so many others out there, and I belong to a whole bunch of Lego groups, and they keep on posting, hey, look what I built. This is fantastically awesome. It doesn't even look like Lego anymore. It looks like art or whatever. That there are so many much better builders than I am out there in the world. But we all have our specific, and I love them for it. I don't envy, like, I get angsty because I look at other people that are better than me in that regard. They have their way of doing things, and I have my way of doing it. So, and yet when I'm at a show, they come over and say, oh, Dave, that's so fantastically awesome. And I'm looking at this guy who's so far above me in building style and technique and whatever, and so it's not. And I use the word basic not to be disparaging. I build in a basic fashion that I learned when I was 10 and before. Bricks on top of bricks. That's exactly how I build. And for me to build off of that, like, so it's not just bricks on top of bricks. It's an extraordinary effort that I will sometimes put into things. I built a few ships in my life where, hey, that worked out really well. But I don't put a lot of time and effort into doing that, because there are so many things I want to do already with the wiring and the lighting and everything else, the movement, the interaction with the audience and blah, blah, blah. That's what I want to focus on, so I don't have to worry about a basic build. Because the basic build is going to be easily adaptable to me taking it apart and building more stuff. So the wiring and the interaction with the audience, and so that's basically why I justify my builds. So not that I have to justify myself to anybody. And then the other people who build spectacularly awesome, intricate, snot, whatever you want to call it, where it doesn't even look like Lego anymore. I love those builds too. I know for myself, I'm not limiting myself, but I say I can't do that at this point in my life, and I'm not really considering doing that at this point. I got enough in my head that can last well past retirement age to get done for the stuff I want to do. And so I will go to shows and I will enjoy other people's stuff as they present it to me. And I find the Lego community is very, very good overall. Very, very good at that, accepting people as they show up with their stuff and accepting it as the person is presenting it to them. So the example is I show with my very basic layout that's big, but it's basic, and they say, that's fantastic, and they bring this one little tiny thing on a small base plate that is so intricately put together and well thought out and well balanced and blah, 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 and it doesn't look like Lego. It looks like some sort of sculpture that you built in a art class or something like that, and it's just like just gorgeous, and I'm like, oh my goodness, how do you do all that? And we love that too. And this is the community, and it's different than other communities that show off stuff. that thing and use the word show off, but we'll use that in that kind of sense, where we put displays on for the general public and for ourselves. Like again, I come back to my cousin Rick, who has this truck that he drives all over North America to all these various car shows. He's retired now, and he gets to drive it, and he gets to show it off, and he gets, you know, first place ribbons because it deserves it. But in that specific regard, there are specific niches that there are specific things that the judges are looking for. Check, 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 check. You get all the checks, then you're going to be in the top list, right? Whereas in the Lego company, in the Lego shows, it's very hard overall for me as a non-artistic person who judges art to say what specifically out there, what can you put in a checkbox? Like, look for this, like, okay, but like there's such a varying building ways, styles, and ways people do things. I've always loved Lego for that. Even when we were kids and you have 5 friends playing with your collection and they're building something that you never even thought of before. How did you put my pieces together that way? It didn't even dawn on me to do that. This happened so many times in my life at shows. Like I said, Greg Highland shows up to do a space display at a public show. And we were already doing public shows for years. He just showed up with the actual built sets from 1978. The ones that you could have bought in 78. That's what he showed up with. There's nothing, there's no mocks, they're just sets, and he put them out and he said, that's gorgeous. That's absolutely gorgeous. On the flip side, I also know why people who run shows do not want to dedicate the real estate of their floors to their display surfaces to people just bringing sets. I get that. I never had that problem when I was running shows back in the day. There was a few people who would bring the Technic sets, like all the Technic cars. And in that regard, that's kind of cute too. Like if you just bring one Technic car that people could have bought in the store, like why are you putting that on for a show, right? The 8448, which is one of my favorite things. I don't think it's worthy enough on its own to be taking up space on the table. An 8448, just out of the box, you built the instructions, you followed the instructions, you built the car, and you drop it down, and that's your display. I don't think, and this is the nuance, the non-black and white, the nuance of it, where if you bring the 853, the 8860, the 8880, I think 8860, like the first 5 supercars, and then even maybe the going into the 8448 and blah, 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 past that, putting all of them out there, that's kind of neat, because now it's a collection. It's like showing off your baseball card collection. You bring a baseball card, ooh, like, oh, even if it's Babe Ruth, it's a baseball card. If you bring your selection, your entire collection of baseball cards from 1948 or wherever Babe Ruth's playing, like the entire team, that's wow. Or the coin collection. I got all the coins from, Madagascar from 1910. You bring a coin, okay, that's interesting. Is it worthy enough for display? Maybe in that regard. Again, black and white. There's nuance here. But bringing an 8448 by itself to put on display without any modifications, without anything, is like, okay, maybe. If you're a 4-year-old and you put it together, okay. There's subtle nuances here, right? And some people at shows don't understand that. I've been involved in some serious discussions over the years about what's appropriate to bring to a show and who's appropriate to bring it to a show, because those are the kind of nuanced conversations you can have. If your 4-year-old by themselves had the capability of building the 8448, or let's do the modern thing, the ISD, the latest one, or whatever, the new UCF TIE fighter that just came out, or whatever. I don't pay attention to May the 4th, by the way. May the 4th be with you. But this is going to be published at the end of May, so you're not going to get it until then. If a 4-year-old built that set and they put it on display, people are going to walk by and say, well, I bought that for my 16-year-old and he built it in 20 minutes or whatever. But then you say, oh, but this 4-year-old did it. Ooh, so that was different. So there's such nuance here. Or if somebody brings the Millennium Falcon, and I love these things, by the way. Somebody brings the Millennium Falcon and made it in like Friends colors. Or the hodgepodge of the pinks and blues and purples and stuff like that. They built the entire UCF Millennium Falcon in alternate colors. I would not have a problem putting that on display, should they want to put that on display. I have no problem with my go-kart collection. some people like it. Some people say, oh, it's just a stupid little go-kart that came out in 1977, and that's been around that's got 100 parts in it and whatever. But this put effort into getting every single color you could possibly make that in. Right? And thanks, Jeff, for getting me more parts for it. so I can build more. So there's nuance across the board. It's not just the build itself, it's the who's building it, right? And so that has to be taken into consideration. And also the public coming in, like if you're doing a quote unquote high-end show and you have limited table space, you're only going to want the best of the best. Now, how you define that is up to the organizers. And again, I've been part of those conversations. But if you have a Lego convention where you pays your money to display at a Lego convention where they have 100,000 square feet of table space, and a 4-year-old wants to display the 8448 they built, I would say for me, absolutely that 4-year-old. If a 20-year-old brought their 8448 in, I'm going, what are you doing? So anyway, that kind of nuance I get into. And this is why also vacillating with this thing, right? So here's the hypothetical, and my wife and I have been talking about lots of hypotheticals lately. Here's the hypothetical. I go to Bricks in the Six, or BrickFed if it ever gets resurrected. If I go to Bricks in the Six and I say to the organizers, I would safely say to display all of those things nicely, not just in a row, but actually out there in the display. I would safely say I would need 8 tables, minimum, 2, 2, 2, and 2, big line, black tablecloth on it. 8 tables of real estate at a Lego convention. And then I put all my base plates out, and I put all my spaceships out, and I put all the bases out. And each one of these is an exact set that I reconstituted. You've seen it. I've been talking about it for years now. And people are going to come and say, oh, they're just sets. They're just sets. I mean, there might be 400 of them. But they're just sets. And so they don't want to see that. They want to see Hogwarts Castle, the person who's 13 feet long, and Jeff's huge castle, right? That's what they came to see. They didn't want to see just a whole bunch of sets. The public won't get that. Us as Lego fans, I mean, I've been posting for the last week and a half of my little shorts about, the 10 928s and the 10 918s and the 7 9124s, which I'm going to make 2 more of, and all that stuff. And I've been making cute little TikToks about them. And people are like, oh, this is fantastic. And so the fans of Classic Space are going to love that 8 table. It's like, that's the best thing ever. Because it's like Christmas time. And to me, it'll be Christmas time. But how do you balance that? How do you balance the wants and desires of a specific niche in the Lego community? Because again, the people who love castles and the people who love architecture and the people who love train layouts are not going to waste their time looking at 8 tables of Classic Space sets that their granddads had. That's how I put it now, because I'm at that age. We just read a post in one of our threads, and they were saying, oh, I got the crane that has the old buggy motor in it. How I can't remember exactly how he put it, but it's like, wow. See, back even when we were in RTL Toronto, this is like that crane. I can't remember the crane number now. If it was the big yellow one that had the old buggy motor in it, the black racer motor that came in the RC Racers. That crane we all got in on when it was for sale in the store, and we all put so much money in to get one, and we all got one because it was brand new, and we loved it. And again, I keep on thinking, oh, it's just like last week. but the old buggy motor, I'm going, oh my goodness, the old buggy motor. I have a few over there, but it's like, wow, where did that time go? Because so when I say like the grandparents of these kids who are walking through the show are looking at these, and this is I've mentioned a few times when I'm at a show with the space layout, the number one, I mean, the kids love it because there's moving parts. I mean, it's straight up. That's the saving grace for the public of the classic space layout. Forget the basic building technique, even though it's big. It's basic building technique. It's got movement on it, which is what the kids are, 4-year-olds are running towards it, and they want to play with it, which I've had issues with it over the years. But the saving grace of the classics, if it was static, nobody would, a lot less people would care. It's my opinion. So, but what happens invariably, the little kids love it because there's movement on it, and they ask questions about it, but their dads or their granddads, which is more the case now, say, oh, I had that set when I was 10. And of course their granddads are my age. I guess, like, if I got married at 19, I would probably be a grandparent right now. so it's like, yeah, but no, I have a 15-year-old who doesn't even show up for shows. When I'm a grandparent, I'm going to be 80. But anyway, so that the number one conversation I have with the public are usually people in or about my age, and they talk about having the sets. These are the conversations I remember vividly. I've talked to some 6-year-olds that are just gaga over the space layout and all the other stuff that we're showing off, and they have a million questions like that, but they can't get these sets anymore. And the classic space, they get the new sets and they love it, and I encourage that. But the deep conversations that I've had about the layout are with people my age. Sometimes, most times, a little younger. Not too many people in their late 50s and 60s come to these shows. These like, again, every time we do a show, it's like Anime North. Like, not too many 60-year-olds out there at Anime North, or when we're at the Kids Fest. When we're at Kids Fest, I'm the oldest person in the room. So literally, I'm the oldest person in the room. Older than the organizers. Now, there are a few grandparents that are bringing their grandkids, and but that's very few. I've done a couple Kids Fest now, and overall, the parents are 30 to 40, and the kids are 6 to 12. And the parents remember their zone was RoboForce and Unitron, the mid to late 90s into the 2000s, and the Star Wars. They always talk about when the Star Wars first came out, and I was already 30 something when Star Wars came out, and it wasn't a big deal to me. It was a big deal to them because they're 10 and they got Star Wars Lego, right? Of course it's going to be a big deal to them, the same way the 918 right here was a big deal to me when I was 10. Okay, this was a huge deal to me when I was 10, and that's stuck with me to now. But if you're born in the 90s and the late 80s, and I was already working full time out of college, and I'm getting towards 30, and you're 8 or 10 years old, and of course, episode 1, 2, and 3 just got dropped, right? Of course, you're going to be a huge Star Wars fan, and Lego brought out Star Wars, and so they talk about the Star Wars sets. And I love them for it because I know what they're talking about. But like I relate 100% because this thing. But I did buy some of those Star Wars sets back in 1999, 2000, whenever they first came out. And again, they talked about RoboForce, and again, it does come up. RoboForce comes up. RoboForce comes up actually more in that generation than Classic Space. They don't talk about Classic Space, they don't talk about Futuron, they don't talk about Space Police, but they talk about Unitron, they talk about UFO. They loved UFO. I've heard that a lot. Oh, I love the UFO. Insectoids never gets brought up. That's just me. And the only reason I like the insectoids is because I got a whole bunch of them on deep discount from Shop at Home. But at a Lego show, at a Lego convention, is slightly different. Because there's Lego fans who have a huge knowledge base, far more than I do, which I love Lego fans for. When I post this stuff on the YouTubes, and I get comments from somebody who says like this obscure fact about whatever, I'm like, oh, you are my people. You're absolutely my people. But so at a Lego convention, going right back to Brick Fete, the first one, and all the Brick Fetes afterwards, I mentioned this so many times. I love public days, and I love standing beside the layout. I love talking to people. This is why I love This is why I adore Kids Fest. This is why I adore Anime North. This is why I adore those shows too. But the Lego conventions have one notch above that, because I got to geek out with Lego people for 2 full days of private stuff, and then I get to sit there and talk to the public. And the people who come to Lego conventions are from 4 until 80, and so you get a wide range. And I do get people my age who walk in there and they say, "Oh, I had that." Well, they basically say the 928. Like these more, not too many people got the 918. But and we have a huge chat about it, and it's utterly fantastic, and I love that. I honestly, I come from a convention with such a high of geeking out, and so they're bringing it back to the nuance. I look forward to all shows that I do. I've never done a bad show in my life. Every single show that I've ever done. First of all, the friends that I have there, it's utterly fantastic. The one we used to do, the Toy Train and Doll show and the hobby shows and the Christmas train shows and all that stuff, where Jeff and Janie and I and all our other friends out there would just pop in and show up, and we'd have the 15 or 20 of us just geek out over the entire weekend and just enjoy it. And there was no pressure, there's no fuss, no muss. Running a show is different than showing up at a show. That's why I never run shows anymore. But running a show, so I'm going to be at Anime North, and this is going to be dropped probably after I'm at Anime North, because Anime North is on the 24th of May, and I think I'm already up to, I don't know when this one's going to be. So you're going to hear this, be talking about Anime North. I'm going to actually I'm going to drop some public videos, non-scheduled videos about Anime North coming up. So you'll hear me talking about Anime North, and you'll hear me talking now, but but this is after the fact. I've been to 2, I think 2, maybe 3, at least 2, and I loved them. They are utterly fantastic, and the efforts that people. The interesting about Anime North, which is again not different, which is wildly different than any other shows I've ever done, is that the public puts effort into stuff. Not all the public. Most people are walking around in t-shirts with their favorite comic book character or the Captain America shield on it, and they walk around with their kids or their wife or their girlfriend or whatever, or their boyfriend, whatever. But there's a lot of people. I would say over 50% of the attendees that I saw put some effort into their outfit, and they walk around in an outfit of whatever comic book character they are, whatever Magna character they are, whatever anime character they are. That's Anime North. And Disney characters. So it's not just limited to anime. They put effort into it. And again, I talk about one of my favorite experiences ever. And I saw him from a distance, and I said, "Wow, that's effort." and it wasn't like the 6-foot sword or anything like that, because some people have the big huge styrofoam sword that they're walking around. You can just see the flicking over all the cubicles, and you can see them walking around. But this guy had long flowing red silk robes with this black embroidery on it and gold embroidery on it, and right down to the sleeves and the arms, and the legs were all wispy, like just absolutely. And I would have no idea. He probably told me, but I have no idea what it was from. And he comes over and he's just gawking over the layout, and I'm speechless, because I know the effort that went into that. You can buy something off the rack, but I know this is not off the rack. This is somebody who worked, and he says it took him a year to build, to sew, to do whatever. And I'm going, oh my goodness, like dude, like it was the most magnificent thing I've ever seen in that style. And again, he mentioned a comic book or some obscure Magna character or whatever, I would know. But I was like, and his hair was like perfect, and like his like little things on his, like it was the most magnificent thing I've ever seen at many shows. And again, and that's comparing it to like all the other magnificent stuff I saw. Elsa and I forget her sister's name already. Anna. Elsa and Anna walk by. Fantastic. Like, there's Elsa and Anna, and you can tell they're Elsa, and they're playing the parts. I don't know if they were paid to be there. I think not, because everybody else is dressed up, and they're playing the parts of sisters, and they're right in character. And it's like, this is awesome. Like, and I said, hi Elsa, hi Anna, this was great. Like, I'm not a huge Disney fan, but and you got people dressed up as Sailor Moon. Perfect. I know all Sailor Moon. And other obscure stuff and mainstream stuff. Powerpuff Girls. Hello. Somebody put effort into that costume, right? And so knock themselves out again. So there's the nuance. There's the appreciation of other people's effort, which I talked about many times before. I really do love hanging around people who put in effort into something that they love. It's one of my favorite things. And listening to talk about it. I talked to that guy with the flowing ropes for like a half an hour. It's just like, and he's going on to how he did this seam here and blah blah blah, and how he had to order stuff from Singapore or whatever to finish the thing and blah blah. He's going on, and I just absolutely enthralled. And as some people say, it's like watching paint dry. They'd be so bored with that conversation. Not me. I was just like right there with them, and the effort that it took, and the number of tries and blah blah blah. And then comparable-ish. For me, I don't have to order things from Singapore, although I just got something from the Netherlands today. Anyway, I'm gonna carpe diem. I'm gonna get on with my day. I thought I'd talk about this latest mail that I just got, and that's another box. Mail number 2. I have let's see. I'm gonna finish this Bricklink order right now. So let's go back to Bricklink. Click on that. My BL orders. This guy is gonna be, it was in euros. I'm gonna say I got it, shipped, completed, exactly what I ordered. Submit changes, okay, it's completed. I'm gonna post my standard. I'm gonna make sure it's the right one. It's the right one. I don't think I have another one here. I have another order that's pretty similar for whatever reason. Completed post. If you get positive, and I'm gonna type in my standard response, which is already saved on there, which I love Bricklink for. Items securely packaged, because they were, and promptly shipped, because they were. Extremely pleased. I'm going to change the very to extremely, because all the people. Extremely pleased. Preview, I love Bricklink in this regard. Post feedback. Done. So go back. So now I have, I'm going to file that one. File. So now I'm down to 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. April 26th is my oldest order, and we're into May 4th. Yes, May the 4th. So we'll see how long that takes care. That is coming from, that one on April 6th is coming from 26th. Hungary. Let's see how long that takes to get here. The other ones came from the Netherlands and somewhere else in Europe. I'm not going to get the box out. And then I got one coming from Netherlands again. Netherlands, yay! There's 2 from Holland. We Buy Bricks. I like them. That is coming from United Kingdom. I'll get there someday. I want to see Stonehenge and all that stuff. This one's coming from Germany. See, when you talk about classic space parts, you get them across the pond. It's just like, I use the Easy Buy for all these things. And this one's coming from Hungary again. So I got 2 coming from Hungary, a couple coming from Netherlands, 1 coming from UK. We'll see when they get here, and then I'll make more videos about them. So I am far ahead. This is May the 4th, and this is going to be dropped at the end of May, so I'm sorry about that. I'm going to be doing Anime North before you guys see this video. June 7th, I'm going to be in Niagara Falls. So come out to the world's honeymoon capital of the world. We'll be at the Niagara Falls Comic-Con. Turolug was invited by Buffalug to put on a display. It's on our side of the border. The Canada side of the border is at the Niagara Falls Convention Center downtown on Stanley. But it's close to the falls. You can walk to the falls from there, should you so desire. Sandy and I have been to the falls numerous times. She's actually looking to book a hotel room so we can stay overnight on Saturday. But Friday, I'm probably going to drive out there in the morning, set up, do the show for the day, then come back to Hamilton. But Saturday and Sunday, we'll be in Niagara Falls for the day and night, and we probably go walk down to the falls at night, check that out, and do other things around the falls. We've been to the falls numerous times. There's a wonderful magic show that I can't remember the name of right now. We've been there twice now. They changed the magician. It's absolutely fantastic. I can't remember the guy's name. We love both shows. And that would be down the street too. So I'll be there on June 7th to 10th, 7th, 8th, no, 7th to 9th, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And the layout will be there. So if you're sick of seeing the layout, some people get sick of seeing the same thing, which is why they don't usually try to have at a show the same layout there. They don't usually allow you to do that at some conventions. I've managed to get in everybody's good graces so far, so I still get to show the layout. What I was planning on doing, by the way, for Anime North, it was just a thought that strolled through my head, is that I just reconstituted 10 Galaxy Explorers. And I was thinking that the entire layout would be Galaxy Explorers instead of all the other ships that I usually put out there. I don't know yet, because then I have to get the Galaxy Explorers there. I only have 3 in the box, so that means I have to bring 7 extras. I don't know. We'll see. But anyway, that's it. That's all. You guys all stay safe. Take care. And I hope everybody's doing well. This is 3 weeks ahead, so I could be, somewhere else. So we'll see you in 3 weeks. Talk to you soon.